Everything I try to make it look like it's going 200 miles an hour. That's my whole goal there. I'm Troy Lee, and this is our new signature goggle collection. We've been doing collection probably for about 15 years with Oakley, doing a couple goggles every year, a couple pairs of glasses every year. My love is my motocross team, and so first off, we probably have more red in line, but then I always like to throw something weird in. You gotta freak them out a little bit, you know? American flag, stars and stripes always work good, so we add a little bit of metal flake to the oval here and add a little bit of chrome to it. Really, I'm always more excited about the next one I'm working on. It's like I can't wait to get to work and start sketching some new ideas. My name's Troy Lee. I'm the owner of Troy Lee Designs, and super proud to be working with Oakley. They make the most beautiful product on the planet.
What's going on, everybody? It's Luke Brady at Bell Helmets, and I'm going to take you through the new Moto 10 Spherical. First and foremost, you'll notice that this helmet looks a lot different than anything we've released in the past. Starting with the shell. The shell is a 3K carbon construction, 2x2 weave, a lot like what we used on our previous generation Moto 9 Flex. But we've actually taken the shell and made it two pieces. So what that allows us to do is actually take the top of the helmet shell off and elevate that and actually increase the ventilation. Now, the way that these two pieces are bonded is we have self-welding screws that were borrowed from the aerospace industry. So the same way that they're putting together airplanes is the same way that we're putting this shell construction together. So as we move to the top of the helmet, you will notice that we've got the flying bridge visor system. Now, what that flying bridge visor system allows us to do is we've basically taken the center contact point off of the visor. So if you were to take a big impact to this visor, it's not going to translate that energy down through the middle of the helmet. That's what we're not looking for. So we're looking to actually move the energies away from the middle of the helmet. So by eliminating that flying bridge visor, eliminating that middle contact point, we're taking that energy and we're dissipating around the helmet. Now you will notice that we're using a toolless screw system. So all you have to do is flip this up. You can unscrew it, you can make it tighter, it's fully adjustable, so if you want to lower your visor, raise your visor, you can do that as well. Now within this system here, there's actually two plastic set pins, so on either side of the helmet. So if you were to take a really big impact to this visor, it's actually going to rotate all the way back or all the way forward. So those plastic set pins are going to snap off. So if you do take a really big hit and we can't mitigate it without that center contact point, and we're utilizing the flying bridge visor, as it takes that hit, it's going to rotate all the way back or all the way forward. So moving around to the back of the helmet, depending on your region, you're either going to be getting a Snell 2020 helmet or an ECE 2206 helmet. Now, as we flip the helmet on its side here, something that's really important that I want to point out is going to be these NMR bumpers. So this is an EPP bumper, and what it's designed to do is help mitigate impact energy to your collarbone. So if you were to take a really big hit, the premise here is that we're going to take away that energy to the collarbone. Ideally, if we can save the collarbone, you're not going to miss any races, hence the NMR bumpers. Working in conjunction with our NMR bumpers is going to be our MERS system. So the same system that you've seen us use previously in the Moto 9, we're using now here in the Moto 10. So that's our magnetic emergency release system. So you see how easy it is to get the cheek pads out in case of emergency. Now we've also partnered with Virus. Now Virus makes a material called Cool Jade. Now this is a phenomenal material that we're using. And when we partnered with Virus, we wanted something that we could create a really cool liner. And what Virus does is they actually recycled mineral jade down at the molecular level. They actually infuse it into the fabric. So the really nice part is your antimicrobial properties, your antibacterial properties, and the cooling effect of the liner are all done at the molecular level, so it will never wash out, it'll never wear out, it'll never dissipate. The nice part about the mineral jade is that cooling effect is typically 10 degrees cooler at ambient temperature. So if you were looking at our previous fabrics that we were using versus the new Virus fabric, this is actually going to be 10 degrees cooler Fahrenheit than the previous fabrics that we were using. Before we move deeper inside the helmet, I'd like to point out the panoramic goggle port. So this is the largest goggle port on the market and will accept any of today's modern goggles. So one of the most important features to our athletes was to be able to draw that sweat around and away from the goggles, because what they found was that they were saturating their goggles, sweat was getting in their eyes. So this is the first exchange system that we've come up with our engineering team that actually draws air away from the face. Now if you notice inside the helmet, this is the first helmet that we've created that every channel moves front to back, because ultimately at the end of the day we're trying to get as much air in the front of the helmet and out the back of the helmet. Now what our engineers found, you can put as much air in the front of the helmet that you want, but if you can't get it to go somewhere, it's not going to increase any type of ventilation. So that's why we came up with the two-piece shell, so we could jam a bunch of air in the front of the helmet with our tease system, and we could get it out the top and the back of the helmet with a two-piece shell. So something that's never been done before. It was really important to our athletes, Tomac, Webb, Ferrandis, that we could really keep them cool on those hot summer days. With this new spherical liner system developed in conjunction with MIPS, we're actually utilizing EPP, EPS, and a lot more material than what we've previously used. So we developed 360 spherical in conjunction with MIPS. It's a ball socket design that allows a full 360 degrees of movement as well as full coverage on the head. So if you look at how these two pieces, you see there's a red slip plane here. You've got a molded EPP and EPS inner liner, more EPS on the outside behind the red slip plane, but what you'll notice is the whole system can actually move front to back, top to side, much more than any system that we've ever created. All right, so we've covered the inside and the outside of the new Moto 10 Spherical. If you have any questions, reach out to us at bellhelmets.com.
Right, our small wheel 85, race 2 on the line, Jeff, and they're away.
Yeah, Nixon Coppins there on that YZ85, getting an absolute ripper straight down the pipe. He was, you didn't see it because we had issues here with a power outage, so we can only keep apologising for that. But we're back online now. Anyway, he was leading the majority of the opening moto. Then with one to go, literally on the corner before the finish, just had a tiny little front end washout, and that allowed Arthur more into the lead, and then Arthur held on to it all the way to the flag. So there they are. They're 1 and 2 in this one. Let's see how this goes.
There in third, I think. So the first race was a win for Arthur Moore with Nixon Coppins second, and the number 5 of Harley Marjak third. 311 of Archie Butterfield was fourth. But this is Moto 2 then of our Dirt Store Small Wheel 85 Championship race.